On this week's episode, we talk about Deadpool and Wolverine.
And other pop culture news from the week.
We saw Deadpool and Wolverine, the third installment on the Deadpool franchise by Fox, and which seems to be they don't call it Fox anymore. They call it Disney Disney bought Fox, and to bury them, changed its name. It's 20th Century Studios, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of 20th Century Fox.
Sad.
Studio. Anyways, so third movie on the Deadpool installment, and with Reynolds, with Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, and
too many cameos to count. We don't want to spoil anything.
Anyone else we can talk about it like right away? Blind Doll is back. I don't know if that's a spoiler.
No, but, not really.
No, she's right in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Morena Baccarin. I can't remember I always remember Peter's name, but I can't remember now. Anyways, some of the same cast of the previous movies, and on the end of this trilogy, or is it? Because before we start talking about the movie is making a lot of money.
That's right. They won the domestic box office with $205 million, and they had the biggest global opening weekend for an R-rated film ever.
Yeah, it's Deadpool making fun of the MCU.
Oh my gosh.
A lot, and saving the MCU's butt. For instance, just to measure, they made on the first couple of days more than the entire run of the Marvels.
Yeah.
So very, very successful, very, very popular, and very funny.
And I want to be very clear, this has nothing to do with how fanboys feel about women and female heroes.
No.
It has everything to do with good writing.
Yeah.
That's really all there is to it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it has a little bit to do on how you treat people, you know.
With how you treat your fans.
Yeah. Common decency. Because Ryan Reynolds, he loves the character in the shows, and he's been saying that for years. He loves the fans, and the fans love him. He treats the character with respect. And we're going to talk more about the movie. Different than some other franchises when right out of the gate, the people behind the scenes, producing, directing, writing, criticize the fans.
Criticize the fans, and also like deliberately want to do something that's like super different from the source material.
Yeah. It's like
which,
if I go by,
okay, then don't use the source material.
Right.
Go do something. That's kind of how I feel about it.
If I want to eat. If I go to McDonald's and I order a Big Mac, if they give me either a big filet of fish, whatever they call, it's like that's not what I ordered.
But the thing is, they're still calling it a Big Mac.
Huh?
They're still calling it a Big Mac.
Yes.
I've actually thought of a similar food analogy where they say, "Oh yes, you like the chocolate chip cookies? We're gonna give you chocolate chip cookies," and then you get to the theater and they serve snickerdoodles. Except snickerdoodles are really good.
And when you
they serve oatmeal raisin, which would be fine if they told you they were giving you oatmeal raisin. Yeah. Anyway.
And when you say you don't want it because it's not what you wanted or you ordered, they call you racist.
Yeah.
They call you, misogynistic and all that crap. But anyways.
The point is, this movie was very well written and very, very funny.
Good news. It follows the formula that he established on the first one. He kind of did the first one let's see, nobody believed it. He did it by himself. He didn't do it by himself, but he was heavily involved. Ryan Reynolds, David Leitch, with whom he created a relationship and had so many other movies, really good movies. And then he did the second one, had a bigger budget, and they joke about it in the movie. The movie was successful as well. And in this one, he went full on with the blessing and love of the rulers of the multiverse, the MCU. He went full on and cast the biggest Marvel star. And it's probably the biggest because he's the one that's been around the most, the longest. Right? You have the Avengers, you might see Robert Downey Jr. is the biggest. But Hugh Jackman is doing Wolverine, before it was an MCU.
Yeah.
He was like over there with the X-Men on the Fox Cinematic Universe, if you want to call it that. So he cast Hugh Jackman as Wolverine on this movie that it's fantastic. Puts fun on fantastic.
There you go.
It's
yeah, super irreverent. Really just like the Deadpool brand of humor, breaking the fourth wall. Very irreverent, very disrespectful to authority, but in like really delightful ways. Lots of jabs at Feige and Disney and the MCU, but like also loving the genre too. It was very fun. But then under all that, there was actually some really beautiful emotional stuff happening. I may or may not have shed a tear at one point. He's got like there's the comedy, but there's like some really good stuff happening in there too that makes it such a solid movie. There's plenty of like goofy funny stuff that just like goes in one ear out the other, and frankly I find them very boring. This was fun and worth watching.
Yeah.
Super rated R. I can't overstate that enough. They really took advantage of the R rating.
There's some bullets. There's some shots.
There's a couple words, couple colorful metaphors.
No nudity, right?
They cut back on the nudity.
There's no nudity.
There's also no crack. They talk about it, but anyway.
It's a buddy comedy.
Oh yeah, I guess it is.
It's about these two. To the point that even they did some things to what they established on the second one that I really liked. They kind of have a time jump and things change, but then at the end it's solved, and I'm gonna get into details. Yeah. But it's essentially a buddy comedy, which happens in the books all the time, like team ups, Wolverine and Spider-Man, Deadpool and Elektra, whatever. So it happens all the time, and the secondary characters to those characters, right? Those main characters usually don't get involved. So to do that in the movie, it would be it would incur risks like they do in shows like The Flash, like we are the Flash now. The entire team was like, nope. You sidekicks, stand aside, or you're gonna die. Anyways, so in this one, they follow the formula really well. So Deadpool, I don't know if it's clear from the trailer, which if it's not, you should see the trailer again. If you didn't see the movie already twice, because the movie is doing really well. But if you didn't see it, Deadpool is gonna go through the multiverse, helping with the aiding the TVA established in the MCU as a time time. What is the V for? Authority, time. I can't remember the V for. Anyways.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Variance.
Time variance. Yeah, I think so.
Something about that.
Variance authority. Anyway, so he's going to go through that. So he's gonna meet a lot of characters. There's a lot of cameos, and there's one sequence in specific that's like straight out of the book. It's like,
and it's so well done. Like there were a couple times he leaned over and was like, "That was a comic book cover." I already knew it because they did it so beautifully. It was very clear. If you have any experience with the genre at all, be like, "This is clearly."
Yeah,
straight from
out of the books. Yeah, and so many beautifully done references, and some spectacular cameos and surprise cameos that like, I thought the soundtrack is something. I mean, they did that in the second movie and in the first movie.
So really just continued what was successful.
They do it very well, and. It's fun. It's action packed. Marvel found the MCU found some formulas on how to make movies, action movies with heart, but fun and really funny. They've been dropping the ball big time on that formula on the latest movies they had. They funny on the wrong moments. They don't have heart. They poorly written, and you can go back to people will say they love Ragnarok. I thought Ragnarok was not as good as people think, and I think Ragnarok was one that started this whole like. What saved Ragnarok was it ends right before Endgame. Endgame? No, Infinity War, right? It ends
that
right
might have been
before.
it.
So it kind of saves the day there because the continuation is the biggest movie in the franchise.
It still had some weight to it.
Yeah, but from that, it's like then you have the Avengers, Endgame, Infinity War. Then you had Spider-Man. After that, it's like you had Shang-Chi, forgettable. Eternals, it's not only forgettable. People regrets having to go to the theater to see that.
Yeah, I enjoyed Shang-Chi, but it wasn't like wow.
Yeah, no, it's like it's been dropping.
Yeah,
even Black Panther. Wakanda Forever has like serious problems. It's not that the first one was perfect. I also have my beefs with the first one, but the second one dropped a lot, and then the Marvels, and then everything is like falling apart. Love and Thunder falling apart using the formula that they should know better, and it didn't work. With Deadpool, they make spectacularly action-packed, with a lot of accuracy concerning the characters, funny and fun. It's if anything, it's really far from forgettable like some of the Marvel products.
Yeah, and even knowing all the surprises and the cameos, I still want to see it again. Like we've seen some things that kind of ride on like a little bump, like a little nostalgia bump or a little inside joke, but there's not really any substance there. This one, like, I know all the surprises, I know all the inside jokes, whatever. There's still enough there standing on its own that I want to see it again.
There's a measurement of a movie that I have is once the movie ends, if I assume if one wants to watch right back again, start right over, is that the movie it's really good.
Yeah.
And there's some addendum to their formula is if the movie ends, and as it ends, you like it's bittersweet. It's sad because it ends, and that's one of the things that want to make you rewatch because you don't want it to end because it's so much fun. It's so well done. And this one was one that was like is the last movie of the Fox era. It's they have a mid credits scene which goes through all the Fox Marvel movies,
which was another really emotional moment for me because for me in particular,
we grew up with that.
Yeah, like I grew up with it, but it all like those movies were like the beginning of my superhero and comic journey. Like those movies meant a lot to me. And mean a lot to me. Like they're still.
And for me, it was those movies was like it was everything we had. You know, when they announced the first X-Men was X-Men in the theaters. You know, we didn't have like the 20 plus MCU movies. Those were the beginning, and those were everything we wanted and everything we had it. So they go through that on the mid credits. It's not a spoiler because it's a nice homage. The movie also has a post credit scene, so you stay up to see what it is.
Yeah. The movie was originally going to be called Deadpool and Friend. But it leaked. Yeah, it leaked and people were not happy about it. Yeah. I think it's kind of like cheeky and funny, except that we kind of all know who the friend is. I thought it's better to just lean into it.
Oh, and the logo was like Deadpool in red and the friend in yellow, like Wolverine colors. And it was like, I thought it was really funny. It was like,
and it seems like the thing that like Deadpool would say too, like Deadpool and friend.
Oh yeah, you know? I was reading about. a mini series where they team up, and it was a trivia. One of the questions was, what's the nickname? What Deadpool call Logan on it? And I can't remember. It was like Gramps Logan, old claws. It was like the options were all that, and if you read the books, you would know that all the options were right, because he calls him like several different nicknames for old fart.
Good old Deadpool.
Good
old Wade.
Yeah. What else?
I mean, we could go on praising it, but I don't think we have anything more to say without giving stuff away. Basically, it was pretty solid.
Yeah, big surprises, big cameos. It's fun. It's funny. He still work with the mouth, non-stop speaking. There's several references to, of course, comic books, to the whole Fox comic book MCU universe. There's also references to Reynolds' own career, which I thought was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. Just, what a blast.
Yeah, anything else?
No. That's going to be in theaters probably for a while. It's on all the IMAX screens in our area.
It took over the IMAX. And it's fun. It's like, it seriously is one of those, like, geez, I want to watch that again, because back when I grew up in Brazil, some movies, as a fan, you're almost forced to go again, because I have to see that movie again in the theaters, because that's it. After that movie will never come back to the theaters. It's not like here that they have reruns and retrospectives and special screenings. They changed that. They do more, but still not as often as here, because it's ironically it is since the market created this thing of not doing it. When they do, it might not get a big audience. So ironically, it's risky to bring a big movie back to the theaters. So, but here we're safe. But I remember back in the days, like, I have to see it again before
before it's all over.
Yeah. So, but this one is definitely one that's like, whoa, do I want to see it again? Not like some crazy, like the guy that watched the Marvel 62 times. It's like, oh, poor guy.
Oh, wow.
He has insomnia. He was trying to find a cure.
Bless his heart.
Anyways, Deadpool and Wolverine is rated R. It is available in theaters everywhere. You should see it if you love the first two. You should see it if you love Wolverine and X-Men. You should see it. If you're an MCU brat, you should see it too. So it's for everybody. Yeah.
Let's continue our theme of wanton comedic violence with the debut of Netflix's Cobra Kai. It debuted at Netflix's...
Comedic violence?
I think some of it is really funny.
Yeah, but it's not that violent.
I mean, there's a lot of fighting going on. It's not graphic violence.
Deadpool, you like to have swords going,
it's
claws,
not graphic
swords
violence.
And claws.
Okay, I'm just saying the martial arts where they're fighting each other, that is by definition quite violent.
That guy that loses his skin and...
Okay, dude, stop.
I'm not saying if it was in Cobra Kai.
All I'm saying is Cobra Kai is both funny and violent, and also debuted as Netflix's #1 show of the week with 14.8 million views.
Yeah, the season is actually the third of a season, because it seems like the season will be
released in
3 parts? In 3 parts. One now, one in November. I think it's November, and one next year. No month, no dates announced. So yeah. The kids of Miyagi-Do joined forces with the kids of Eagle Fang, and left the dark side of Cobra Kai behind. Or did they? It's fun. It has some things that I kind of like.
It's showing. This is the last season, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It needs to be, because it's showing that, like, okay, they've worked through everything that they can.
No, there's some.
They're gonna need to come up with new stuff, because right now we're already recycling issues.
Yeah, I mean, there's teenagers. They have issues.
Yeah, but we've explored these issues in 4 other seasons. 4 other.
Well,
I don't know. It's reaching the point where we're like, okay,
but
we
my
can be
problem is
done.
not even that. I think that's a solid that works. My problem is what they did to the revealing the past of that character.
I still think there's more to that.
I hope so. And if there is, I'll applaud them. If they tricking us, good. I don't want to be the crap they did to Luke, right? I can't think of it. There's so many. They do that
or
so
Han,
many.
or Indiana.
Any of them.
We're on a first name basis with all these guys.
The character is like the superhero, the legend, and comes a couple years later. They are not only flawed because they were flawed before, but they are the worst. They are quitters. They are depressed. They are. The role model is like the opposite, and it's cynical. It is cynical to think that everybody, as they get old, they become the worst. They give up on life. They give up principles. And anyways, it's not that what they do, but I was afraid that on writing it would be something similar. So let's see what happens with the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But the show is still fun, and. It didn't change much. Is they preparing for the Sekai Gakkai?
They said so many people said it over and over again in this season, and they all say it a little bit differently. And I'm not sure what this is, but it's the International Karate Tournament Championship. Yeah. So All Valley, Small Valley. This is international.
In Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona.
Oh, sorry, that was a spoiler. Yeah. Anyways, Cobra Kai season 5 available on Netflix. 1/3 of it, so there's 5 episodes.
Okay, and next we just got back from seeing Twisters.
Yes, this one I heard really good things about it. My biggest regret is that we were not able to see on IMAX. I mean,
but that's because of Deadpool.
If the movie was on IMAX, I don't know. I was out of town when the movie was released, and we didn't have the chance. But I heard all the really good things about it. I still had my concerns concerning the times we live and some of the formulaic agendas, a little bit of pieces of that they put on movies.
And just like the mediocrity that tends to get churned out. Like, because this is a sequel, I guess, of a very popular film from the 90s. And anyway.
And overall, the guy, it was really fresh to see people criticizing the movie for doing something great, right? Some people were like pissed because the movie was not preaching about global warming.
Oh, that's right.
And the director said, no, I don't want my movie to preach. I want to tell a story to entertain.
Yeah.
That's what movies are for. It's not to go preach. You want to go preach? I don't know. Create your stupid NGO or run for office. That's not what my movie is. And it's like really, really, really balls for him to do something that should be commonplace. Everybody should be doing that instead of pushing agendas. And it's not like when they push a little bit. It's like when they push so much that you watch a movie, it's like, crap, I don't want to watch this crap. I don't want to be here preach for whatever ideology, and they teach some of the worst ones. Anyways, so besides that, I heard that the movie was really good. We finally had a chance to see Thursday night. The movie was packed for some reason.
Yeah, there were a lot of people there to see it. And in fact, this one...
It's like, what, third week? 4th week?
It's been out for a minute,
and it was packed. I joked, it's like, these people couldn't find tickets for Deadpool?
It was a different crowd than we saw at the Deadpool. It was definitely a different crowd.
I don't know, Deadpool was packed too, but I didn't look at anyone. Because we usually see on the previews, and Deadpool's on the Saturday. So it's a slightly different crowd from the previews to the
sure.
Saturday.
But it did set a record for disaster movies with an $80 million box office opening, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down.
Oh yeah.
So
no, it's a really good summer movie. It's healthy and charming. It has really great characters. It has heart. It's written really properly. The man is wrote with the man's charms, the man qualities, and the man's vices. The woman the same way with the woman's qualities, the woman's charms, and woman's vices. It's really realistic. Oh, what was I was thinking? There was the thing that I thought it was most unrealistic. Oh gosh, talk about the movie. I'll think about it. Oh, there was.
So this this one does kind of connect. There's like a couple of nods where you see like this is in the same world, the same timeline, I guess, as Twister, but they really both can stand alone just fine. There were some nice nods, a couple of homages, but nothing over the top. And this movie really doesn't need that to lean on. It's just a really fun disaster movie. We've got, and it takes some of the same elements. We've got our storm chasers bringing some trauma, some emotional baggage into it. So we have the excitement of chasing the storm, but what really makes the movie like so compelling is like the individual characters and their teams and how they work together and what their drive is and their motivation. Like I said, even though they talk about some things like, you know, these like crazy tornadoes that are happening like more than ever, and crazy weather and stuff like that, they avoided anything that's like terribly trendy or like very topical language, and really just stick to like tried and true. Try to stick to like timeless things. Like tornadoes are very scary, and it would be awesome if we had a way to protect people from that. And that's kind of what's driving it. Good acting. Glenn Powell is having an amazing couple of years.
Yeah.
He did great in this. I don't know the name of the lead actress, but she was also
Daisy Edgar Jones, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She was also delightful. Would not mind seeing her in more
Ramos
things.
is also there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple other familiar faces. The girls, the other girls are both. We've seen her. I've seen the girl on Hellboy.
Yeah.
We saw her on the Bunny show.
That's right. What was that show called? Gosh, that was a while ago.
And of course, the other girl was on the Flash. And she was on the Flash. No, it was in Black Lightning. She was on Ant-Man and Wasp.
That's right.
And she's now on the movie that's like a tough lesbian couple with Kristen Stewart. I mean, I don't think it's in the future. I think it's on streaming already. Who else? There was
Maura Tierney.
Yeah, and then also
our new Superman.
Oh, David Cornswit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a jerk on it.
Honestly, yeah.
And everybody was really well good. The movie is really I thought it was really well done on how it's written, how they balance characters, and how everybody is important, and even the goofy characters and the surprises. If this guy's an idiot. This guy's what the guy calls it, Ricks? No, not Ricks.
Hillbilly.
Hillbilly. With YouTube, and it turns out that everybody has more to it. And it's a fresh surprise.
Something I liked about my only beef with the movie is the number of Oklahomans who apparently had no clue what to do when a tornado came, which doesn't seem terribly realistic. I haven't polled the good people of Oklahoma. I don't know what the normal storm response is, but I feel like I went to elementary school for a couple of years in Arkansas, and we talked about all the time what to do in a tornado. I feel like Oklahomans would know and not need to be told by storm chasers to like get down, go to a basement, go to a bathroom, stay away from windows.
But that's
a little
one
to me.
One thing is knowledge, and the thing is the psychological effect of
sure
actually happening.
Yeah, I know. But for me, that just felt like a bit of the one thing. I mean, besides like the sort of sci-fi-ish element of it, the one thing that was like stretched a little bit for the point of for the purpose of the plot and character development, so whatever. But I did really love, and they very deliberately took a moment for Glenn Powell to say, like, hey, look at these wonderful people. Aren't these people worth helping? Like, and they showed this, like, hillbilly, backwoods flyover type deplorable country as, like, people with, like, a wonderful culture and just a beautiful part of America that's worth time and investment and everything else. And I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Because they get a lot of crap and they don't deserve it.
Yeah. No, I really love the movie. It was really good. I loved the first one, and everybody in the movie was great. It had some stars in the movie, and people that eventually made all the things, became even bigger stars. Directed by John DeBon, produced by Spielberg. So it had like all the right people to make. And this one, it seemed like it was the same. It had great director, produced by Spielberg with a great cast. It was worth the wait if you were waiting. Not necessarily I would make more, because I don't know, it would be the same cast or it would be a different cast, but you of course gonna, where's the other cast, right?
I guess.
I don't know. It's
I think they should let it go. Like, as much as I enjoyed it, and we watched Twister this morning, and then we saw Twisters tonight. As much as I enjoyed it, I feel like there's only so far you can go.
Because the story is essentially the same. It's man against nature, and of course there's the relationships there.
A caravan of vehicles with cool gadgets, driving around dirt roads, trying to chase.
And the cool gadgets is still not a school that you can deal with that, because we find we as mankind surviving this planet, we find solutions for we adapt. If it's too hot, we build fans first with feathers, then with electricity, and then AC. Right. If it's too cold, we're gonna find ways to heat up. If not, fire, electric, gas, whatever. So we find solutions. We find ways to adapt. But some things, it's still it does not work. Like electric cars. It's still something that in the future it might become a thing for the entire planet. Like dealing with tornadoes, we're not even close to find anything, because they come and they take you away.
Yeah.
In your house, and in your cows.
Oh my gosh.
Chickens.
There was a moment. So like my first experiences with anxiety attacks were living in Arkansas and dealing with like the constant. It wasn't really the constant threat of tornadoes, but anyway, there's a moment where like the sirens go off and they sounded just like the sirens in Little Rock, and like, oh my gosh, and then like the sky, all the sounds, like, oh gosh, because it's terrifying. Like, you could just be minding your own business, and then this like thing comes out of the sky, destroys everything, and then disappears, and that's it. There's nothing you can do. Oh man. Yeah. Anyway, so it's a great theme for a movie. I don't really want them to do a whole lot more right now, but this movie, totally worth watching. Very, very fun, very interesting. Definitely recommend it.
Yeah. I can't remember what the joke was, but it was something. It was like something trivial and funny. There was I was planning to say there's like the most unrealistic thing in the movie was.
Sorry.
What was it?
And then I went off on a tear.
Was it the Cowboys? No. Was it? I can't remember. I might remember. If I remember, I send the next episode. You still have more episodes?
Yeah, we got a minute.
I might remember. But not because I wanted to. My brain is like, no. Anyways, Twisters is available in theaters everywhere. If you want to catch up, it's fun. We promise. You should check. It's rated PG-13, right?
Probably.
So we don't know.
I didn't check, but yeah.
Okay.
We also so recently we talked about the new Beverly Hills Cop movie. It debuted as the most watched Netflix title of the week as well, with 41 million views.
Yeah.
So I guess the people love Axel Foley.
Yeah. Maybe it might make more. Who knows? Hollywood is desperate for profit, easy profit.
Yeah.
And sequels, reboots, remakes, revivals.
But didn't he talk about how like it's a little different making an action movie when you're 60 than when you're 20?
He did say. He said it was terrible, yeah. But again, if they pay you enough,
This is true, and you can tweak some things, but you could kind of see it in the movie. Like in the first one, he's just like bouncing all over the place, and in this one, like, oh, you have to work hard for this now.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool. It's funny when you see an old guy, sometimes a little bit out of shape, overweight, and it cuts to the stuntman. The stuntman is like thin and fast. It's like, wait a minute.
You have much more spring in your step. Anyway, okay, let's talk Emmy nominations.
Yeah, so the Emmy nominations were announced, and Shogun had a lot of them, 25 nods. The Bear had 23. Only Murders had 21. And I guess not unjustified. All these shows have been doing really well. Even though season 3 of The Bear was like, that's very different.
It was different, but I thought it was very good.
But the nominations are not for that season, so.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Either way, I have
season 2, definitely, yes.
Zero complaints about The Bear. Even though, the third season is super different. The Bear, in fact, broke 30 Rock's record for most nominations in a comedy series.
Yeah. That's only 2 seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Or is it talking about on a single year?
It doesn't say. That's a good question.
Yeah, we have to check. But anyways.
Either way, that is a rarefied air they're breathing. So I'm very happy for them because the whole cast, the writers, it's such a solid production. That's great. Hiroyuki Sanada was very humbled by all this, and Larry David is celebrating that misanthropy is finally being recognized.
Yeah.
So
Sanada that will come back for season 2 of the Shogun, even though it shouldn't exist. It doesn't have a source.
I don't think we should say it does have a source. Japan continued to exist.
But that's a book based on a book.
Know.
So the
other books have been written about Japanese.
But he made them so much money, and he's gonna make them a lot of rewards, like to quote to some movie that we maybe saw or didn't see. They're gonna make him play this character until he's 90.
You know what? If Hiroyuki Sanada 90-year-old Hiroyuki Sanada wants to walk around with a sword, I'll watch it.
It's dangerous. You die as a hero, you live long enough to become yourself becoming a villain. So.
Or, well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Let's see. Netflix led as far as like network totals. They led with 107 nominations for like just Netflix shows.
It is surprising still. Netflix is still a giant to beat. They still are the giant to beat. But concerning awards, like what we seen on Netflix lately? There was the baby reindeer. I guess everybody saw that. But I guess I don't think those apply. Did they say anything about it? No.
I don't remember. Yeah. That's a good point.
The Squid Game. I don't know if that applies. But overall, there's a lot more on Hulu effects that we can remember. HBO, of course. And, yeah.
I feel like Apple as well.
Apple, too. That's true.
Well, either way, they've got a whole bunch. Curb Your Enthusiasm has tied with Cheers and MASH for most comedy series Emmy nominations.
Okay.
So...
Cheers, I think only ran 10 seasons.
Only 10?
Yeah, because Cobra was 15. But again, it's a short season. It's a 10-episode season. The Cheers was a broadcast TV show, and it had like 20 plus. So, anyways.
Yeah.
Just information.
Okay, so I wonder then if the Bear one breaks the nominations in a single year, because these two statistics sound the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, basically, there's a bunch of really good shows that are breaking records set by other really good shows. Let's look at the news for a minute. A Russian court ordered the arrest of Alexei Navalny's widow. This is not surprising to anyone.
Yeah.
It's a major
accusing
bummer.
her of being extremist.
Yeah.
The both the wife and the late husband, they fought the tyranny, the regime. He died in prison, and now they want to get her.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, the U.S. government cut a deal. We don't have details from the deal. It's, if it's anything like some basketball player, it would be like a lot of money and a death a deaf. What's it called? Deaf merchant.
Yeah. No, this one's pretty good. So Evan Gershkovich, as well as like 23 other people, were released from Russian prisons.
Sure, but what we gave them.
So it wasn't just us. This was actually a deal that included like Germany and Turkey and a bunch of other Western nations, and got a bunch of other people released. So other journalists, other Russian dissidents, people who opposed the war in Ukraine, like Russians who opposed the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And I don't, like I said, there aren't a ton of details. Like, these people are home now. It seems like we gave up some Russian sleeper cell type spies, things like that. But overall, this does seem to be a much more successful deal. Sorry, I keep interrupting you tonight. No, I apologize for that. But I did try to look at that. Hillbilly Elegy is surging on Netflix after J.D. Vance became Trump's VP pick.
Yes, so everybody wants to. It's a great story. It was a great book. I was told, I didn't read, and it's a great movie. And it's a great life story of people that live in that region. People that live through turbulent times and overcome that. He came from nothing, became a Marine and a leader in the community. Now he's even more a leader because he's a senator, and heavens permit, he's gonna be a vice president, and being a vice president with potential of becoming a president eventually.
Yeah, we'll see. The movie is extremely. It follows the book quite closely in terms of like the life story. There are a few changes made to like make this entire book fit into
2 hours.
Yeah, fit into 2 hours. But I read and watched them pretty close together and was quite impressed with how closely they stuck to it. But I do definitely recommend the book, especially if you are an American who's having thoughts and opinions and who's going to vote this year, although he's evolved quite a bit since he wrote the book. But anyway, the movie tells a story. The book gets into some more like policy type things. Anyway, it's on Netflix. You should go check it out. Let's talk about being stuck.
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Comic-Con. So there's a lot of news coming from Comic-Con. Let's see. Alien Romulus was there. Fantastic Four, which will be named Fantastic Four First Steps, will be there. Was there. The cast. Captain America. What's this name? Brave New World? Is that called?
I honestly have
They changed the name.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford was there as a Red Hulk. So was what's that black dude? What's his name?
Well, not Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie was there, of course. What else concerning Marvel? Let me see. Let me think.
From Little Thing.
I'm trying to think. Oh, well, there's that too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other things before we get to the biggest disaster.
The big one with Marvel. I don't know.
The DC wasn't there, and they announced James Gunn said they wouldn't be there because I don't know. This guy's a weirdo. But. Yeah, it was fun for everybody there. Of course, there's the dark side of it that I thought it was. You didn't put on the list.
No, I didn't feel like talking about the dark side tonight, but you can.
Yeah, I mean, when there's major events, big events in the U.S., I guess it's the same everywhere else. I guess in the Olympics, basically happening too. There's a lot of crime, and specifically. Crime involving human trafficking, which is for sex. Nobody's trafficking humans to be slaves to build a pyramid or to do, it's usually for prostitution. Yeah. So they did arrest people. They did save some people from it at San Diego Comic-Con, which is sad. They had a fire as well.
What?
Yeah, it was a penguin. I think it was a penguin because San Diego becomes Comic-Con.
Yeah, it's not just like Hall H, it's outside on the streets.
Yeah, it's not just a convention center. It's like all the buildings are rented and become experiences. They do things out on the street. restaurants changed for that and all that. So they had a place that had to be evacuated because of a fire. Anyways, so on Hall H, it was announced and confirmed that the Russo brothers would come back to direct the next two Avengers, because on a sign of desperation or recognizing that things are bad or wrong, we have to fix, to pivot. So they bring back the directors of the original, the last 3 Avenger movies, because they did direct Captain America: Civil War. That was basically an Avengers movie.
I always forget that's actually a Captain America movie.
And big announcement at the end of the night was they announced that Doctor Doom would be the villain of the movie.
In fact, they've changed the title. Yeah.
The movie will be called Avenger Doomsday instead of Kang Dynasty.
That's right. Yeah.
Nice or curiosity little tidbit. Reporter asked Jonathan Majors walking on the streets what he thought about it. He was like kind of heartbroken. And then she asked him about the whole how no Marvel, because he was beyond that, but I guess society and Hollywood kind of forgave Robert Downey Jr. that he was a bad boy. He was like in a lot of trouble
did he
back
hurt
in the
people?
day. I don't know. He
was like super addicted, substance abuse, but
I mean,
did he beat up his girlfriend?
I don't know. Details was not reviewed, but he was like, he was in the gutter. He was like terrible shape, and he was he fought it. It was not gratuitous. He did the work, and overcame that. But same thing they did with Ezra Miller. That was forgiven and got the Flash movie, even though he was around problems. It's not like everything was. It's not like he went through the process of repentance and paid for it. It was right when it was.
I think for Ezra Miller it was more like
the movie.
We've gone too far. Like we can't afford to scrap this. We have to do it.
But they did. And then he wanted to go through that. It was interesting because he said he mentioned those, but he didn't mention himself. He was just like throwing out there to say like. Anyways, but back to Doom, Doctor Doom, who is the new big bad at the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was announced, a surprise guest show up and show his face to the Hall H, and the face was Samuel L. Jackson. No, it was Robert Downey Jr.
I literally thought it was a joke. I thought it was the Onion when I saw the picture. I was like, this is, what?
Which is it's like desperation. It's clearly, let's resuscitate this guy, take him back from retirement.
He will be doing this until he's 90.
Yeah, it's
Like, are there no other actors? No other actors.
They're afraid.
But like, it's here's the I love Robert Downey Jr. I have a lot of respect for him and his abilities. But he is Iron Man. He was like one of the best things about the MCU. His character and what he did with it. And when he died, and it's kind of a cliche, but when he died, like the MCU kind of died.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's never been able to pull back from that. And like, let him be that, and maybe let Doctor Doom be any one of like a bajillion other wonderful, talented actors.
For instance,
who could bring so much to this.
For instance,
like not Iron Man's face, or a real Eastern European accent, or For
instance, Chris Evans, was asking in interviews several times about coming back as Steve Rogers as Captain America, and he said no. No, it's like he's reticent about it. He's not coming back. He thought he has a lot of respect for the character and for the story, and it's done. It's over. And I'm pretty sure that Robert Downey Jr. had the same feelings. But Disney and its power and fortune convince him otherwise. And if he says, "Oh, because of the stories," I know it wasn't, dude. It was like unless you're really good friends with someone there, and I don't know, the Russo or Bob Iger, it was for the money, and it has to be. It has to be a
bananas amount of money to make it.
Yeah, maybe stocks, even though Disney stocks are falling, but
for now, but they're.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyway, so yeah, and like Powell and fans demonstrators like really dumb. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, and boy, I'm sure we're gonna have opinions about it. So
yeah.
Tune in. Okay, last but not least, HBO says the House of the Dragon finale leaked from a third-party distributor.
Yes, it leaked yesterday, I think. Yesterday.
No, I think it was yesterday. But we couldn't.
No, it's leaked on Twitter X. Someone else, but on HBO, no, they're only gonna release on Sunday the season finale. Who's gonna take the Iron Throne? We'll see.
I don't know. Is it a series finale? No. Season. Okay.
Yeah, but someone's gonna take the Iron Throne.
You think so?
If you saw last episode, yeah, gonna happen. It might not change. It might change. Someone's gonna put the button on that ugly throne. Anyways, that's it for this week. We come back next week with more pop culture news and entertainment. May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.